an Austin Powers movie, honestly, like a lot of vagina and stuff like that.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are with you once more. It is I, it is they, it is them, it is us. We are the Three Amigos, and we are here to spread light, happiness, and confusion wherever we go. Wherever there is mediocrity in football, you will find us. Sinisterously harumphing stage left. Gentlemen, Sam Guano, different day from Tony V, Dinosaurus, Sexaholic, Chris B, and I am in Monaco. See what I did there, kids? It's a wordplay. Watched the game the other night. I want my money back. Tony V, let's start with you this time round.
Yeah. As it says, same guano, different day, part two. My God, if Monaco had a striker, we'd have been buried about 7-0. It's that simple. We were abject in every department. The only good thing about the result was the fact that we didn't concede. And I think it's the first in 125 games that we haven't conceded a goal. I mean, that in itself should be applauded and celebrated across the land. You know, there should be public holidays and everything for it. For fuck's sake. But honestly, it was terrible. But Bergvall looked like he'd forgotten how to play football. My comments are so interesting. He's just pissed off. He's just had enough.
Well, they say in this life you vote with your feet, and I was just looking out the window. Stay still, man.
It's the lack of preparation and professionalism on display, H. Honestly.
Well, don't worry. I am assured that there is a knife thrower going to show up at Chris's hotel room at any moment.
Oh, right. Okay, fair enough. But it was just awful. Absolutely awful. The only person to really come out of any credit, and God knows how we never say it, is Vicario.
Yeah.
Absolutely had it. If for all the criticism we've given him, and quite rightly so, a lot of people have given him, he saved us. Literally saved us from a defeat, and that's the best performance he's put in a Spurs shirt by a country mile.
I would just briefly add on the Vicario thing. I think it was Lily White Rose, that sizable Twitter account, said, "At last, let's get behind him." And fans, look to yourselves, or whatever it was. No. Every time I go to a restaurant, I look at the dish, I taste the dish, and I score it based upon what's on the bloody plate. Nobody gets a free ride. Unconditional love. Do you know what that is? It's conditional. Unconditional. No love is unconditional.
One game does not make a goal. Suddenly make an excellent goalkeeper. He had one good game, and we'll give him credit for it. Absolutely.
And also, I hate to break it to everybody, but Monaco are not peak Juventus. Yeah. They are not peak anything. They are subprime, mid-range Monaco. And I know this is going to come as a shock to people, but I did a post on the Substack earlier this morning. I'm going to do a similar take with less swearing in it for the .com later. This fan base, it's naive. It isn't particularly intelligent at times. And, so many of the noisiest people know so little about football. Chris, what did you think of the Monaco game, you tanned, handsome Hulk?
Was that a segue in when you said unintelligent people, then handed over to me?
Yes.
Yeah, I thought so. It was absolutely diabolical, wasn't it? There was no end product in the final third. As Tony said, I never thought I'd be saying the day when Vicario was our best player. And the only other two I thought didn't do anything wrong was Danso again at centre-back. I thought he was unspectacular, and I like him as a player. I think he comes in and does a job. And I thought Gray didn't do anything wrong. So with the exception of those three, you were scratching your head trying to work out what was going on. And we say this time and time again, but my God, Richarlison, what is he about? He can't score. He can't hold up the ball. He can't win the ball in the air. And he looks like, well, everything's too much of an effort with him. But you look at when he's not playing, the other option at the moment is Mathis Tell, who's no better than him. And we've been screaming out for Solanke to return, and I never thought I'd be finding myself saying that.
I think the deal with Richarlison sums up what I was saying previously. And a lot of people, I'm not here to police the internet or police football. I appreciate that would just be fundamentally stupid. But people need to have a bloody word with themselves and stop coming out with excuses upon excuses. And hopefully, the Lewis family can lead by example and stop giving us turds that require polishing. This business of, oh yeah, I can't wait till he hits 50 and he'll be brilliant. Sick of it. We got led through this merry hoop. And I've got to say, I mean, the amount of negativity that has been directed purely online, and I would say specifically from social media accounts, which are not known for their high rolling IQs, about Thomas Frank being on borrowed time. He's just another post. I'm not interested in your opinion, because you've proven again and again and again, time after time, that your opinion doesn't really count for very much. So when you say, "Oh, Frank out," what are you expecting? Who are you expecting to come here and turn Solanke, who is, I'm going to say it because I just don't care, he's hiding, right? I've been a Spurs fan all my life. I'm telling you, that boy's hiding. He was no good at Bournemouth. He's been no good at Tottenham. He's hiding. Richarlison is a clown. He looks, I did a piece yesterday. What was it? I said, he looks, 1 minute he looks as if he's about to burst into tears. The next he looks as if he's about to thump somebody. But what he never looks like is somebody who's about to score a goal. So you can all fuck off and you can keep going. Not interested, because your opinion has no value. I mean, you watch the game, and a blind man with a bag over his head, sponsored by Stevie Wonder, could tell you that Bergvall had a stinker. There is an attitude problem within those four walls, as Wyan Mason used to tell us. There's an attitude problem. There's a culture problem. And we've got this business with Romero comes off of his hollybobs on his international break, and all of a sudden he's got a discombobulated eyelash. Somebody needs to use, and this is simple business language, shake the box, because it doesn't mean you're taking anything in or adding anything, but you're just making a shake to get them by the scruff of the throat, scruff of the neck, whatever language you want to use. And until that's done, we're not going to be any better off. And I see the Lewis family hiring more LinkedIn guys, more yes men, more navy blue suits. Oh yes, I was quite charmed by it. Again, I don't value your opinion. I want football people in there, and I want football decisions to change the mindset of the players, because it doesn't come from the lads in the loading bay. It comes from the director's lounge. And until that changes, it'll be the same thing. This team is fundamentally rotten to the core. And this is the reason that we lost 22 games or whatever it was last season. We haven't made any seismic additions. And I think players like Xavi Simons and anybody you want to name actually needs to feel the urgency, needs to feel some heat. And I don't think the manager's culpable. I think he's making some mistakes, but managers do. But what would you do? Would you field Odebear? Would you field Tell? Probably. If I was in Frank's position, I'd kind of think, well,
when you don't have a choice,
when
you don't have a choice, when everybody is less turdish than the turds that are in the first team, when the people in the first team are less turdish than the people in so they can replace them. What else can you bloody do? You know, it's literally is the lesser of two evils. But on the score of people going about Frank out, well, that game we would have lost under Postecoglou without a shadow of a doubt, 100%. And last night's performance by Nottingham Forest under Sean Dyche proves beyond a shadow of a doubt what an absolute fucking clueless. Yes, I'll say the word. See you next Tuesday. See, I'm being very diplomatic. Postecoglou was, with his absolute basically no form of any form of system or philosophy whatsoever, apart from mindless kamikaze tactics. Sean Dyche comes in, one game, bang, sorted.
But the problem with the incels who are starting to make the noises of Frank out and things, he's only lost 2 games this season. He's been asked to deal with the ghosts of Daniel Levy past. We've got a squad that's not fit for purpose. You can't polish a turd, and one swallow doesn't make a summer. There is abject rubbish across that
Liverpool
squad.
lost more games, Chris.
Is that abject?
Liverpool lost more games than us. You know, does that mean Slot goes out? You know, does that mean Slot goes out? If Liverpool, you know, come on, guys, get some fucking reality in here, shall we?
Look at some of our options. You've got Mathis Tell, we've spoke about time and time again, rubbish. You've got Brennan Johnson, tapping merchant, but rubbish. You've got Odebear, championship player at best. you've got no creativity or finishing ability in that final third. Yes, you've bought Kudos, who looks exceptional, but he's struggling because everybody around him's 2 leagues lower in respect to brain capacity.
Well, when you think about also, when you talk about, well, did you notice on the commentary? Sorry, H, you on the commentary in that game. I don't know if you're obviously watching it on TNT via the Fire Sticks or other devices are available.
Would recommend, great service.
He's changed his phone number recently, H.
Yeah,
I wouldn't know. I only deal directly with the executive at TNT.
But the commentary on TNT was absolutely abysmal. I mean, abysmal with a capital A. They were going about how good Odebear was in that game.
Yeah.
And we go, what the fuck were you watching? I mean, Stevie Wonder would have done better commentary than that, honestly.
The problem with this, I just got to jump in here, is that TNT hired somebody there who was so happy to get the job, he left his brain in the waiting room. We were getting there, Sky Sports of about 5-6 years ago, where it then became a standing joke that the Super Six Sunday head-to-head sort of thing, they all made a big song and dance of. They tried to treat it like an FA Cup final, and they tended to be 0-0 draws because the football didn't stand up to the publicity, to the hype. And TNT was shocking because he was describing stuff that wasn't happening.
Mm.
You know, I mean, it's an old joke. For those of us of a certain vintage, you might remember That's Life, when they used to have the old Vox Pop and they go out with a microphone. And a bloke was standing outside a supermarket. I think it was in Northern Ireland. It must have been Northern Ireland. And he was interviewing people about if you could juggle a sausage or something banal. And this woman comes up with a knitted hair, you know, in the earrings. She goes, "You BBC, you're filming things that aren't happening." And that's what the TNT were doing. They were describing things that weren't happening, and it's just fundamentally embarrassing.
Yeah.
As are our long throws at present. They're becoming somewhat of a circus routine.
It is just so predictable now. The problem is everybody can see that's all we're ever going to do.
At the risk of taking this podcast in a turn that was inevitably bound to make, I look at our long throws now, and I'm thinking of It's a Knockout with Eddie. What was the guy?
Stuart Hall.
Didn't he do some bad things allegedly?
Yeah, but he had a great laugh.
There's no allegedly about it, Chris. There's no allegedly about it.
He was touching up minors as they were trying to find the F sharp note on the piano. But he did some great stuff. You know, Alexander wept at the breadth of his domain. There were no more worlds to conquer, and here come the French side carrying a watermelon. You know, this guy brought a lot to my young life, and I'm just glad my parents kept me out of the same room as him.
Well, it's just so sad because that memory has been tainted because It's a Knockout was always fantastic family viewing, and it was just such a laugh. And that memory has been forever tainted now, and that's just so sad. But then you could switch channels.
Then you could switch channels for the safety of Jim will fix it.
Yeah.
Thank God H never achieved his dream of milking a goat blindfolded.
Chris, your letter was only the start of it.
Yeah, and these days you just got the modern equivalents, the Philip Schofields of the world and what have you. So other pervert celebrities are also available.
With his Technicolor Dreamcoat.
Yeah, indeed. But it's just that people who say Frank out. I mean, what the hell are you expecting after 8 or 9 games? I mean, first of all, he's. You know, we one thing we may not be playing great football, but you can't it's the I know this thing is there's this saying about how bad workman always blames his tools, but Frank can't possibly do any more with the shit he's got to work with. It's that simple. It is that simple.
Light on the occasion.
Let's not forget
a bad workman blames his tools, and our fan base is full of bad workmen.
Let's not forget, though, those same fans were prepared to give Ange Postecoglou 106 games to prove himself, despite sitting 17th in the Premiership and losing 107 games or something silly.
We mean the Ange Postecoglou about Nottingham Forest masterclass.
If you're a Tottenham fan watching this, let me just tell you, even the smart ones, I've had enough of all of you. it's over.
Frank needs at least 3 to 4 windows,
Yeah,
transfer windows, to be able to put any form of. If you're going to give Postecoglou that amount of games and 300 odd million to do it, you've got to give Frank the same amount of time, because it's ridiculous to say that he is not better than Postecoglou. He is miles better by any order of magnitude you care to mention. Don't care about the fact that he won the Europa League. That was yes, we won it, but we fluked our way into it, playing some of the worst football, I think, in living memory, probably the last 30, 40 years, against teams that, even H on a Sunday after a great big piss up the night before would probably be able to score against.
What?
is that chemically assisted or not?
Oh, mate, it depends. The thing is, mate, the problem is, mate, the thing is, he has to nip in at the back. That's one of his favourite moves.
Not half, mate. Not half. No, I mean, listen, Frank isn't the problem here. There are inherited inadequacies, but I'm going to say it again, and you're going to hear it again and again down the line. The Lewis family need to take charge of this business. I am very impressed with them getting rid of Daniel Levy, not because I'm 5 and I didn't like him and he was smelly or bald. I just knew that he was look, for want of a better word, a less emotional word, he was evil. He wasn't any good. He was like a cyst. I don't want to use the other C word, but he was a cancer. And the sooner we got rid of him, the better. So we've got rid of him. Hurrah. But moving forward, the Lewis family need to take control of their business. And if they're going to carry on with this LinkedIn hire business, I don't mind, but it comes with a but. They've got to stop fanning about. And I want to see a big name in the winter. And I know that sounds very entitled and very argumentative, but we desperately need one, because all of the shite, all of the guano that you morons are cooing over isn't working. No hope, no shimmer of hope or growth or aspirations from these lot. Tell and Odebear, we saw play for the under-21s against I don't know who and I don't care who in the international break. And some of the remarks left on the videos, not on my channel, because my channel only has grown-ups on it, but on social media, on these wretched platforms. Oh, yeah, worldy. Let him cook. Generational talent. All this garbage. They were playing toss. They were playing very
Macedonia. The backwater of Macedonia and Lithuania, those footballing powerhouses.
The team that Yarmouth could have been if they were an independent sovereign state. No, I mean, just a complete waste of time. And the sooner we stop rewarding and cherishing mediocrity, because I've gone on for ages now about this all being connected. If you've got half a brain, there are people in hospital wards who've got severe brain injuries who can work out what I'm talking about. And they're all connected. You're rewarding mediocrity. Oh, he's nice. I like him because he's got a funny coloured skin. Oh, he's white. Don't like him. I sound like I'm mad because I'm describing your illness. Your madness.
He's bringing the energy, H. He's bringing the vibes.
I mean, the last horse you morons backed was Basuma, who can't even get a gig as a striptease artist in a Luton nightclub.
Oi, careful what you say about my hometown.
Look out, kids. It's Tommy Robinson's older brother.
The reason why he got a bit touchy about that is because he's the stripper at the weekends.
I prefer you use his proper name as Steve Lee Axley Lennon. Let's bring it home.
Let's bring it home. I mean, even he can't speak properly, and he's a CEO blue chip whiz kid.
That did make me laugh last night with pictures of Basuma coming out after ankle surgery, laying prostrate in his bed. And you think that's the best place for you to lay, buddy, as you never go see a football pitch in a Spurs shirt again.
The guy's a cretin, and we just need because, like I say, it doesn't come from the loading bay; it comes from the boardroom, and we need the Lewis family to take control of the ship and not let anybody else into on the captain's wheel and just say, "This is how we're going to make it right. This is how we're going to make you whole again." Because Spurs is not whole. It's a mess. Trading on the falsehood memories of that Europa League win, which then suddenly became a European champions win.
Champions of Europe. Yeah, check us out.
This is the disease that we're having to fight. And people are so dumb. Oh, let me see you happy. Well, what do you want me to do? Do you want me to go and have my chromosomes interfered with and go and join the Chuckle Brothers on We Are Tottenham TV and tell you everything's going to be rosy? Well, I put a camera against myself and go, yeah, when we score. No, sorry, you picked on the wrong Marine.
To me, to you, to me, to you.
Yeah, that's pretty much our defense. That's pretty much our passing strategy at the moment, isn't it?
I tell you what is funny, Tone. Have you seen our injury list? It's gone back to sort of 2 years ago. There's more people. Thank God we gave Ben Davis a new contract in the summer. He's been well worth every penny, isn't he?
But this is what we're up against. I mean, these are the same schmucks that are coming out with this business of calling him, for example, a loyal servant. I can't even imagine what his homes look like.
Servant, guess what? Servant still means you're a servant, which means you're lower than everybody else. And that's what Ben Davies is. He is lower than everybody else. So calling him a loyal servant is accurate because he's lower than everybody else because he's bloody dog shit.
But he's a servant who's taking about 320 grand a month home. So I wouldn't mind being in that position.
And compared to whoever we're seeing at the moment, he's dating a supermodel. I mean,
speak to yourself,
this isn't envy. This isn't envy. I'm just telling you, to quote my good friend Christopher here, I'm just bringing it home. I'm telling you how it bloody is. I mean, this is what we support. This is what we endorse. We're apparently, and it's just insanity.
But on social media as well, going back to this Lewis thing or what have you, but we're talking about all the football about, and Frank and what have you, and people sort of there's still some people wishing that Ange was still at the club. They even refer to him as a legend. A legend. Let that sink in. Legend.
Are you reading that right?
Come on, lads.
Come on, yeah. Does anybody suddenly forgotten all the games that we lost under this cretin?
Did you say legend?
You're asking Goldfish for architectural advice.
I know. Yeah, it's a leg. I said legend as opposed to legend, Chris.
That's what I was assuming. Yeah, I thought you misread the spelling.
Oh, look, all men fighting over a comb. Somebody's used Chris B's ever ready joke.
Fighting over a comb with your pubes in it.
Ew, how queer.
Always important to prune it. Always important to prune and groom the man garden. I keep on telling you.
Dear God, you actually send a shudder down my spine, which is probably turning you on. Just the description of that. But so
it comes to something when you got more head on, you got more hair in between your legs than you have on your head, though, isn't it? It's a bit cruel.
I tell you, I've got more hair coming out of my nose and my ears these days than I'm able to communicate on this family-friendly show. But just
friendly.
Fritzl
family friendly.
Madeline, use the bucket. I've told you.
Are you still babysitting Madeline McCann, H?
Sorry, I didn't catch the second part of that, but I might be. Yes. So no.
How is that game of hide and seek getting on?
Not so much on the seek front, I have to tell you. But so we stumble out the oxygen tent of the Monaco game. Looking for a more workable version of life support, and we're then off to Everton away. Now, does anybody feel the warmth? As we head towards Christmas, according to the Marks and Spencer's crisp bar, which is now suddenly full of turkey flavored, cranberry flavored everythings with salt and sprinkles. I mean, I fear for what's going to happen at Everton. Not because Everton are any good. It's just because we don't look like we've got our act together and we can't score in a Vietnamese brothel with a pocket full of rice.
Used that last week. Uncool. Come up with some new material.
No, that's from a now deceased legendary GI barman that I met once. Well, no, I didn't meet him once. I met him a lot of times, and that's a great joke. And I'm going to use it on the hour. So if this show rolls over, you're going to hear it again this afternoon.
Come on, H, bring it home, H, bring it home.
I'm bringing it home, baby. Bring it home.
But the thing is this? I did one of these things with the Everton game. Yeah, I'm not hopeful at all in our current state. But do you know what will be even worse? Even worse than losing.
What's even worse than that, Pete?
What's even worse than that? I you know, I was walking down the street one day, and this bloke come up to me. He said, "Oh, you're a cunt," etc. etc.
Or YouTube doesn't like that algorithm. We've told you about that before, Tony. Wind your neck in.
We're going to have to edit
well.
the show now, and that includes slashing where your face is open with darts that have been rusted and left in a puddle of water. Just to
I've got some in the cutlery. I've got some in the cutlery behind me. If you want me to put me on.
No. We're all good. Step away from the cutlery drawer.
I'm feeling the love, gentlemen. I'm feeling the love. I must say.
What's even worse than Everton?
What's even worse is Richarlison scoring. Richarlison scoring and not celebrating like he's just won the cup. Because I can't stand this thing where players of former clubs go back to their home grounds or what have you, or they play against their previous team and they don't celebrate. You're being paid by the club you currently pay for. You celebrate like it's the last fucking thing on earth that you do. I don't get that whatsoever. I think it's so stupid.
The only thing I would say is that for me, and this is because I'm not a footballer, because I unfortunately aren't earning their money, but I'm slightly more intelligent than most. There's a difference between celebrating and going like that to the crowd and rubbing it in. And when you see players scoring against their previous sides and they're like that to their teammates, they kind of internalize the celebration. But that's a really sophisticated way of approaching things, isn't it? You know, I mean, that's like screaming for joy in a maternity ward when you do realise that just across the way there, somebody's lost a baby. You know, you have to be able to adapt to the situation you're in and behave appropriately.
That's called emotional intelligence, and a lot of our fan base lack that.
Correct. Emotion exactly is what that is, and that's why your probation officer was right to cover that chapter with you in their notebook. And I'm glad you've workshopped that, Chris. But yeah, it is emotional intelligence, but we don't have that because the same people that would say we do have emotional intelligence, how dare you, chop and change and flip flop with the weather, and it's embarrassing. But no, I actually can see, honestly, I can see him managing to get a ball dinking off his earlobe or something, and acting as if his grandmother has just been assassinated live on Brazilian television.
That would wind me up.
They've got a proper atmosphere already at that stadium. The Hill Dickens, whatever. We're going to get dicked at the Dickens Bob. But they've done everything that we haven't. Our ground this season's been like going to the library. There's been no atmosphere there whatsoever as a result of the turgent shite that we're having to watch on the pitch.
So you're saying that TNT were fibbing at the Monaco game then? Is that what you're saying? I mean, I was struggling to stay awake. And I think I said this before, but the people saying on like our chat group, one of the guys on there on the WhatsApp thing, he was saying that he was currently browsing because the wife needed a new Hoover. This is while the game is on. This is Tottenham Hotspur in the Champions League. It doesn't get any better, any sweeter. And he's telling us, one of our guys, I think it was Chris there, the other Chris P, was telling us that his missus had asked him to look for a Hoover.
What, you mean the Spezmeister? Not Chris P, yeah.
Yeah, the Spezmeister. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, the Spez dispenser.
But yeah.
Meanwhile, Arsenal
dispenser.
the modern day Viking Raider.
Yeah. But that's
Arsenal
where we were though, Champions League.
Yeah, meanwhile, Arsenal are ripping up Atletico Madrid, who are an absolute, solid right old side, who give it a good 4-0 at home, absolutely ripping them apart. That's how far we are.
I read that even Mrs. Vaughan decided to have an early night and leave Toaster downstairs to it alone.
Yeah, well, I just indulged in a bit of man love, What can I say?
Tone alone.
Those fire sticks are fantastic. Those fire sticks are fantastic for content, aren't they?
And you're on the right page because if you keep scrolling down, you get to the adult on the live stuff.
I have a bookmark just for that exact purpose.
Allegedly, Mullard.
My only problem with that is, have you ever tried to get a plumber that quick in real life?
And one that speaks 3 different languages, because he's able to talk immediately into French and Swahili when his friends arrive.
Honestly, Doctor, I tripped over and it fell into me.
Now, you haven't actually got receipt of the Hoover yet, Mr. V. And then after Everton, after that debacle, we have Newcastle United.
Away the lads.
Hooey the lads, hooey. But I mean, beyond the Geordie dancer and the Macca mover, and a quick round trip, a quick spin through the vaults. Have you done the vaults in Newcastle, lads?
No.
No. Don't know what I'm missing out on, clearly.
Well, I'll tell you something. Your shaving habits would stand you in good stead for that place. I went there once. I was so damaged. I went out with a mate of mine, and I climbed up to the Sir John Hall stand. I nearly died.
You had a nosebleed by the end of it because you were like 36,000 feet, couldn't see any football.
I stood there like this because everybody stood up, and I was sort of swaying because I wasn't in good shape at all. I had no sleep really. And this copper who stood in the front, he said to me, "Are you all right?" I said, "No, I'm in a bit of trouble." I thought I was going to fall onto the fucking pitch. The foie de gras of youth. That's what
hypoxia does for you, mate. That's what hypoxia does for you when you've been in a rarefied atmosphere.
That's what far too much cocaine and alcohol can do to a young man when he was living his misguided youth. But no, that's not a friendly place to go these days. I mean, when I went there, season ticket holders, Newcastle United season ticket holders, were offering me their card because they were in a state of anti-Mike Ashley. But these days, that suddenly is back, and it has a currency in that city. And I fear for what's going to happen to us on the road in the next couple of games. Because I tell you something, we're not going to play bloody Monaco up in the Wirral or wherever it is. We're not going to play Monaco up on Deanside. I didn't realise that Korean people.
And then a couple of weeks after that, we got Chelsea, haven't we?
Yeah,
Chelsea indoors. That'll be fun.
Yeah.
What about bet Romero to get sent off Chelsea indoors?
We need that transfer window to come around quickly. And we were linked the other day again with a bloke I'd take every day of the week, Dusan Vlahovic from Juventus.
Yeah, absolutely.
No brainer. No brainer.
There's a whole. I've got to be honest, lads. There's a whole rake, and I'm not going to go through them here because it's just shouting out names. But I've been doing stuff on the .com, and there are half a dozen names. I think maybe 4, 5, 6 names of decent attacking, playmaking, goal-scoring players that are out there, but they won't be cheap. And this is how the Lewis family will have to earn their corn. None of this 20 million quid from Wraith Rovers. We're looking for somebody who comes out, box fresh, oven ready, whatever you want to call it, is ready to go and step into the Hollywood Vampires and play lead guitar, play rhythm guitar. We're looking for rock and rollers. We need somebody that's going to come out and just smash it. And I fear that this winter we won't do it. I hope we do it because I want them to make that statement of intent, whatever you want to call it. But I fear that we may not. And if we don't, it's going to be a long, hard crawl from the Christmas to the summer. Honestly, it's going to be tough.
The last signing we did under Levy's tenure was Moani, wasn't it? Carlo Moani.
Yeah.
So another super steal of a bargain there.
We've hardly ever spoken about.
Play bloody football.
Honestly, it's just as you say, and what we've also got to do is if we are going to look at buying one or two class players, is not haggle about the price. Just go in there, get the player, get out again before everybody else gets wind of it. Because the moment you start haggling, the likes of Arsenal and co go, "Oh, that's a good idea. We'll have them." Bang, and all that sort of stuff.
Well, I think we've learned
a much more attractive opposition.
I think we've learnt much to what would be the right word? Chagrin, and perhaps isn't the most.
You having a stroke again, Tone?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, no regret, rien.
I'll have an extra sausage in my sandwich whether I need it or not. But no, I mean we need to feel the speed. We need to crack on this winter. And if we don't, like I say, go out and do the right thing, don't quibble, get on with it, pay them. And I think that, I mean, they were, if you read the note that Tottenham Hotspur put out on their website about one of these LinkedIn transfers, and it made the point about this guy that they brought in working with a non-executive CEO, whereas Daniel Levy was the chief executive and didn't have to report to anybody apart from Joe Lewis. If they're going to put that out, that sends a beautiful little message to me that they're still trying to distance themselves from him and to signal to people that this is the new order. But they're going to have to back it up with actions. And actions does not involve recruiting people from LinkedIn onto our extraterrestrial extended bloody boardroom. We need the team to show decent and solid improvement, and that only comes by how much is he? He's 80 million quid. Right, there you go. Bang.
A lot of these clubs, look at how successful Chelsea are in engineering the transfer over 6 or 7 years, because then you're not paying all that money in one drop. It's spread across the lifetime of the contract.
No. Please. I won't sit by and let you come out with lies. Daniel Levy absolutely did that. He did the same thing with Sissoko, did the same thing with Richarlison, except for they were so shit they didn't actually count as footballers. Those guys were being what's the phrase, with the amortized before they put the shirt on. I think it's a brilliant way of doing business, but you should only do it when you've got players that are a gimme, a must-have.
Apart from Caicedo and Fernandes, who, everybody said they'd overpaid for massively, but look how they're absolutely rocking. They've been rocking the last couple of seasons by a long way. They actually don't pay that huge amounts of money. They don't necessarily pay, like 80, 90 million for people. They're paying 40, 45, 50 million for players, which is, obviously in the grand scheme, it's a lot of money, but it's not a lot of money in the football world. And that does actually get you quality, whereas opposed to 25 million for Odebear. So that's the thing we've got to do.
The other thing as well, and this is going to be coming across as witchcraft to stupid people, but if you have a team which is majoritively speaking full of 60 million quid players, or players that are at that level, or they're that sort of elite sort of thing, and you put in a 25 million quid player, you've all been down the pub. Well, those of us who've lived a life, and when you play the biggest swinging dick in the pool table business, you raise your game. You improve when you're playing with better people. That's how it works. When I was playing everything at school, chess, badminton, whatever, the moment I entered the Dragon and I was playing against somebody that was, wow, I raised my game. Didn't always win, but I raised my game. And that's what happens. You improve when the pool you're in is of a better quality.
Yeah.
But our pool has got absolute scum floating on the surface, like Odebear and Tell. Tell, who needs taking up to the crowd and to get a little bit of warmth because he scored an own goal. Don't get me wrong, own goals come through pressure. They all count. A rose is a rose by any other name. But why are we having to nurse and pander around these guys who aren't quite good enough?
I've got to say, I'd take that Magnus Aliouche who played for Monaco the other night. I saw enough of him to say he looked a decent player.
Yeah.
And that I have to say, that is our lot as fans, because I remember watching Spurs with my dad when we weren't particularly at our best, and you'd say, God, that boy on the right wing from Fulham, he's all right. Never heard of him. Look him up on the papers or whatever and see that they're talking about he's worth 12 million quid or whatever. But that's where you go when things aren't working out well for yourself. You're coveting thy neighbour's ass, to quote the best-selling book of all time. And we need to break that cycle. And I know a lot of you are sitting there at home looking at me, what's this idiot talking about? Well, that's why you don't get it, because you don't have the mental intelligence to get it, which is a pity. We're on the cusp of something. With all the money, the way we're set up, we're on the cusp of something. But I'd like us to get there before I die. That's how entitled.
Well, the thing is as well, H, it wasn't so long ago, and it is well within living memory, that under Pochettino we had a team that was almost the envy of the Premier League. We just nearly Nearly got it, apart from Levy managing to fuck it right up after one of the best seasons we'd ever had in the Premier League.
The swashbuckling Rose and Walker at fullbacks, Vertonghen and out of the order in the middle. Then you had the god Dembele alongside Victor Wanyama through the middle of centre midfield, and then you had all that second talent. Yeah.
But you see, this is exactly what we're discussing. This is a CEO, and I'm sure they've had this conversation in-house. This is a CEO who was quite proud of himself for, as best he could, dismantling that side over a prolonged period of time and not adding to it. And this is why the share price was going up and up and up, the Deloitte Money League and all that going up and up and up and up. But we didn't achieve anything. And we actually took that defeat to Liverpool in the Champions League final as evidence that we were kind of, we'd gone as far as we could go. You know, and that whole resignation thing, we can't compete with the big boys. But that's what we were doing anyway. We were big boys, but we weren't capable because we had a CEO who, as I've said before, doesn't particularly care for football, looks down his nose at football people. But now he's gone. Fill in the rest of the blanks. Surely
if we ever get to that sort of, if we're able to get back to that sort of scenario where we, have that level of success and that level of, the players on the pitch and playing really good football, if that's the case, what needs to happen after that, once that has been built, and that'll probably take another couple of years to a few transfer windows, if it does happen, is not go, right, we've arrived. It's then, right, now we push on even harder. And now we go for it even more. We absolutely rock it. Whereas before, Levy just went, do you know what? Really good idea. Oh, this is brilliant, fantastic stuff. Do you know what? We're so good, we don't need to sign anybody for 3 windows.
Well, history has told us that Daniel Levy was concentrating on one thing, and that was his own personal greed. Everything about the football club was aligned to making money to benefit him, and he had no interest or ambition on strengthening things on the football pitch. And all those years later, it's come back to bite him on the arse, and we're better off now without that parasite.
Absolutely. When his true colours came out, and the reality was that, again, of course, I've got nothing nice to say about the man because I've only been proved right in 99% of everything I've ever said. But the people that he really looked down his nose at were the Lewises. And they got wind of it eventually.
Yeah, and the younger generation with no mugs, and they've become the executioner and said, "Danny boy, your days are numbered. Off you pop."
As the line says, as the old line is, the apple didn't fall far from the tree. They weren't brought up stupid.
The arrogance of Levy to think that he could he got away with it for so long, but he continued to openly think he could get away with it, and eventually somebody cottoned onto it. But it's the arrogance of the man to think that he could just do this in perpetuity and basically treat the club as his own property.
Listen, I just get a plug in here, but it's not the reason for getting the plug. But I'm doing this pub. I'll tell you now, the senior partner is Mason Newman. What he says goes. It's his aesthetic. It's our dream, but it's his concept. This guy is the artist. He is the creative spark. Now, he's got me on board, which I'm very grateful for. But I'm damn well under no illusions as to who's in charge, because anything I do has to serve the greater good well beyond me. Because if I don't live up to it, and I've said this to everybody's face, I get sacked. Because I will be judged on my performances in terms of delivering for this brand and this concept, for this content, because of everything he does is fucking content. And none of it for a moment is about me. If I go home with a smirk on my face because I've had a good day, and I had a couple of good days this week, and I'm going to do more good today, I'm happy with that. It makes me happy, but it isn't about me. It's about making sure that the boss and the organization above me is content. You don't follow your own, dance to your own drum. You make sure that you keep your eye on the ball. And Levy didn't do that. And you can't be that smart. Human beings, even really rich ones that are distracted all the time, they won't let you get away with it. They won't let you get away with it. But you need to understand what lane you're in and who's who and who's in charge and who you're working for. And that's what Levy got wrong.
Well,
Arrogant little idiot.
Levy knew everything he was doing, hence why he had Donna Marie Cullen in there as his pit bull, because she would run in inform at the first moment something wasn't going right, and that's why he counted every paperclip, consulted on every carrier bag in the club shop, and everything went through him. If you control everything and micromanage people, the chances of being rumbled are less, aren't they?
100%. I mean, he operated with an iron rod, iron fist, whatever you want to call it. And when the guy who was in charge of the drinks or the hamburgers or whatever needed to make a cash spend of £100 or more, he referred it to he made the decision, yes, and then it was referred to Daniel Levy. Nothing went outside. So hopefully these new guys that the Lewises are bringing in will actually sign their own bloody checks.
Here's a novel concept. Here's a novel concept for you. If
You're
you're
not going to take your
successful on
clothes
the
off
pitch,
again, are you?
well, no. Well,
Are you
mate, you can only see me. You can only see me from here. You can only see me from here, mate. Anything else under there, mate? Honestly,
Tony, you know Chris has only got a t-shirt on.
Well, I mean that's his normal attire, isn't it? Chris with a t-shirt and with a load of knives. That's kind of
he's sitting on a sheet of newspaper.
Yeah, Chris calls that Tuesday, basically.
Hey, H, I'm glad this whole Mason Newman thing's taking off, because you do remind me a lot of Paratici with your nefarious links to criminal underworlds, your dodgy way of transacting deals, and your liking for young boys.
He's part of the Brummy Mafia now.
Yeah, he's cooking. He's cooking. I tell you, generational talent.
I'm cooking on a radiator, boys. I'm cooking on a radiator.
Yeah.
We're all gonna have egg sandwiches for tea.
How are y'all doing and all that?
Nice.
Blue nose.
Nice one.
No,
but yeah.
It's
novel concept. Actually, back to novel concept time.
Yes.
Novel concept. Success on the pitch, winning
I'm
trophies.
sorry, Tony, we're out of
money.
time, and we'll see you all again next time.
But I tell you one to keep an eye on, and it's somebody that you picked up on a few weeks back, H. That Mason Melia from Ireland is due to sign in January. I looked at his stats the other day: 50 professional games, 22 goals for an 18-year-old in the Irish First Division, which, given it, may not be anything spectacular.
Let him cook, I tell you. Let him cook, I say. Come on.
But he looks a half reasonable prospect.
Yep. And?
No, I'm just saying.
I thought we were done. I thought we were done with prospects, and we wanted oven ready players.
But in our current demise, when you look at the left side and you've got no ability whatsoever, it frustrates me to see this Yang Hyun Mik or whatever available in different pronunciations on loan at Portsmouth. And the Portsmouth fans are actually getting generally very excited about this lad.
Well, I mean, the worst thing you could hear about a player the modern times is he's the next Mikey Moore.
Oh, God.
It's working out well in Glasgow for him, isn't it?
Oh, and honestly,
I've gone up with his Union Jack underpants over his head.
What I would like to see, though, is that Williams Barnett get some minutes. There's no excuse for it not to be happening at the moment when you're rotating. And the other strange thing we spoke about previously, but Papa Matasar started the season on fire in the middle of the park alongside Polini or Bentancur. What's happened to him? He's not getting many minutes at the moment.
Oh, so this is something I'll just share with you. I saw an article this morning because I was looking for stuff to use on the .com. Bloody hell. This is where we are, right? So the boot room does huge business because it's SEO'd itself very cleverly. So well done, everybody. But the content is poor. And they've got a guy there, Graham Bailey. And I'm not looking to follow people, but stupid. If it walks like a duck, quacks like a duck, it's almost certainly a duck. So Graham Bailey, who has anointed himself, because I don't remember the Pope doing it, as his footballing expert, came out with the line that, and this is from the old guano of "I understand," which immediately tells us it's like from the Gold My Beer bumper book of bullshit. Let me get this straight. The Papa Matasar is going to be playing in the African nations and something else as well. I can't remember. So Frank is looking for other options. What the flip has Monaco a couple of days ago got to do with the African nations? Stop making excuses. Stop making it up. And do you know what? If you spoke to fans as if they weren't as thick as mints, you might create a better culture within
But
the
wouldn't
fan
that be the
base.
same apply? I don't know. I can't remember which country Kudus comes from, but wouldn't that apply to
No,
Kudus
they
as
didn't
well?
qualify.
Surely?
Didn't qualify.
Did they qualify? I wasn't sure about that. Yeah, I wasn't sure.
Didn't
if that was the
qualify,
case,
you
but-
mug. You don't know nothing about
Hey,
football, you mug.
I've had a culinary delight sat on the desk in front of me for the last 50 minutes, and I've realised it reminds me of you two. Nerds.
Oh, dear God. So you can't sleep and you're taking melatonin
Is that the steroid version?
and sugar that would put a small boy on the moon. No wonder you can't sleep.
Yeah, but all of this within reach of loads of rusty knives.
Oh, don't. I've never seen, honestly, I love you all dearly and equally, you're all my children, but I've never seen so many disgruntled punters as when you were juggling a bucket of knives on that
Yeah,
last.
and I still got up at 4 o'clock this morning for you. So you
Yeah.
ungrateful
You know what?
swines.
A lot of people wish that you died in your bed after that show, mate. You don't get any badges for showing up early.
Many more steaks, and nerds, and beers, and it might be possible.
There were one or two. There were one or two people on YouTube were hoping you might be involved in a mysterious air accident, Chris.
Yeah, which I personally felt was unkind.
Yeah.
certainly to the other passengers.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean they all have parents, Batwoman.
Some days you just can't get rid of a bomb.
I liked your comment. I liked your comments about he might be with your daughter or something.
Yeah.
Don't laugh. Don't laugh. Your daughter's inside. Was it one of those?
Yeah,
ones?
Yeah. Might be inside your daughter.
Yeah. So there we go. Any more for any more?
Come on, we got 8 minutes to stretch it out to the hour. There's got to have been something.
Will it be same guano, different day, part 3? That's what, which I suspect it probably will be.
Do you know what I find strange? That we've been increasingly more often linked with this Iliam and Dye, the guy who plays for Everton on the wing, who they got from Sheffield United. I can't get it.
No.
No.
Not even a yes, just a no. That at Everton. He's in the perfect place there. That's his level. I mean, having said that, you could argue that Everton are not necessarily better than us, but if we have any aspirations to do anything and spend the money we're talking about, he's not the player. He's not the one. Definitely not.
So we keep you up, H. That's a big yawn I could see there.
No, huge yawn. I mean, I'm just looking at the tactical breakdown of our thing. I mean, the performance against Monaco. We had 44% of the ball. Big chances, 5 versus 1, and shots they had 23 versus our 11. And obviously that doesn't include the ones that weren't on target. And we only forced 2 goalkeeping saves from the Monaco team.
Have they got the odds out for the Everton game?
They probably have. It would require a distinctly adept human being to cover them. Do you want to tell us what you had for breakfast to fill the time?
Well, it's 7 minutes past 6 in the morning, and I've been up since 4, so I've yet to have breakfast. I've had a few nerds, some coffee.
Are you speaking literally or figuratively there, Chris, when you say you've had a few nerds?
Right. Got the prices here. Everton are 2.4. Spurs are 3.1. So we're not favourites. That's great news. And the draw is 3.4. So the intelligent money from the bookmaker is to go for a draw. Spurs just over 3s and Everton under 3s in charge, which is just tremendous work. It really is.
I'm going to head out to the old rough stock cowboy boot store later and buy you both Christmas presents.
Oh, what? They sell carrier bags in there individually, do they?
Mm. That old Jimmy Now song, Crocodile Boots, will be coming true for you, fella.
Dear God, I had a pair of cowboy boots once, but I understood that they were hysterically bad once we went into 1989, and I decided to put them in the dustbin.
No, but now you regularly role play John Wayne Gacy. They'd come in quite handy.
What a man! What a crawl space! Right,
dear.
We're coming at 55 minutes, and I have to say, chaps, maybe it's the nerds, maybe it's the jet lag, maybe it's Tony's underwear, but I feel we're tiring a little in today's show. It has to be said. But I think we need something to change, because like during the Monaco game, I did a halftime harumph, and I did a full-time sort of roundup, and I was kind of losing the will to live.
Maybe you need to go back 20 years ago and pick up that cocaine and beer habit again. That might put a bit of kapow back in you.
You're talking. But yeah,
that wasn't a part-time. That wasn't a half-time harumph. That was just an extremely violent bowel movement.
Not half great, mate. No, I mean it is tough. It is tough, and I don't see anything particularly coherent happening in the transfer market, apart from the fact we're being linked with, as I say, 4, 5, 6 really decent standout players, but they won't be cheap. And I fear for what Johan Lang and Vinay Venkatacham and all the rest of it have up their sleeve. But we need to see some intent.
Paratici is in the kitchen. He's got the stir fry going. He's going major with his culinary delights.
I'm going to be selling the kitchen in the pub, actually. Decided to flog all the stuff in there because it's worth a few grand. So if anybody's in the West Midlands area and needs a pretty brand new, well, it's a couple of years old kitchen, get in touch via the usual channels. No time wasters. But yeah, there we go.
To quote Jerry Maguire, the transfer window, show me the money.
Yeah, just get it on. We've got the money. We've got this cash injection of 100 million, which 90 million of what came from that. God, muck in here. But it came from the broadcasting leverage deal, which is great. But let's spend it. Let's just crack on and spend it, because at the moment we've got Mohamed Kudus, and we haven't got much else on the shelf.
I'll tell you, all the big clubs will be circling around this January or in the summer. It'll be that Elliot Anderson at Nottingham Forest.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's already happening. I think
if Forest don't get their act together, they're going to get absolutely cherry picked, because Marinakis can scream and shout, but he's led them a merry dance there.
Yeah, they haven't got any wiggle room in respect to the PSR stuff if they were to get relegated.
I think Sean Dyche is a good signing for them. I think he'll sort them out.
But it makes a mockery of going from Nuno, who had almost got them into the Champions League, to putting Fatty in there who effed them over royally, to now coming into a bloke who's been out of football for 2 years, and you all know what Dyche is about. Right, it's not attractive football.
Postecoglou isn't that stupid when you think about it, because he goes in, he fucks up a club and walks out with 7 million after 7 weeks.
He's never had it so good. He's never had it so good, and of course he will get another job in the Southern Hemisphere, where all the outback locals can sit there, burp, and screw up their cans of Castlemaine 4X and tell us what a great manager is when he's running the Yokohama Grasshoppers or whatever.
The Messiah returns. The Kangaroo Messiah returns.
Bungle fuck FC are due to appoint him shortly.
Spa Watford.
Yeah. and Postecoglou, a legend in his own lunchbox.
Yeah, absolute waste of space. Right, gentlemen, let's wrap it up. Otherwise, we're just going to be talking about our favourite pair of socks. But Spurs, you know what to do.
Real men don't wear socks. I've told you that before.
They just take lots of steroids and nerds.
And melatonin or whatever that is.
I'm going to get my solicitors on you with any of these references. You know, my mum sometimes drops in and out. It's becoming uncomfortable conversations.
You BBC, you're filming things that aren't happening.
I'm surprised.
And don't forget, keep it on.
I'm just surprised you didn't